the people of Kerala in making and strengthening the unity of the country and in sharing the concerns of the people not only in Kerala but elsewhere. That remains a peculiarity of the people of Kerala and the leadership of Kerala.
This is not merely an abrogation of Article 370, this is an abrogation of democracy itself.
You see, people are forgetting. You see, the real test was when the whole environment was full of hatred, animosity, full of clashes around. It was a small place called Kashmir which expressed its will to be together.
And I remember Comrade Sitaram visit Kashmir to meet you.
And Sitaram boldly said, Tarigami, don't get disappointed. This country is having a rich history of fighting back for their rights. We will not disappoint you. You are part of the mainstream people of India. People of India, if the rulers betray some sections of the population, people of India will not, shall not, we assure you. That assurance was a big support for us there in Kashmir.
Good afternoon, Comrade Tarigami. Good afternoon all.
Good afternoon.
So I'm very happy to have a conversation with you in this KLIBF, Kerala Legislative International Book Festival. And I think no other assembly in the country is holding an international book festival like this. So this is not merely a book festival, this is a bigger platform for discussions, debate, and also to express dissent. So in that sense, the Kerala Legislative Assembly is upholding values of democracy.
That's true. First of all, I congratulate you and Honorable Speaker as well and his team who have organized such a wonderful activity. And yes, as of now, we know much more than the rest what democracy means, how valuable it is for the survival of our people in the whole of the country. And this exercise of conducting discussions and debate, that remains the key for promoting democracy at different levels. So that is where the present dispensation at the national level is not up to the mark. And I am here to express my views because we want to be part of the democratic structures, democracy, and we want integration with the democratic spirit of our Constitution. That's why I am here to learn from, and that is where I am getting an opportunity to express my concerns about the future of democracy in Jammu and Kashmir.
Comrade Mohamad Yousuf Tarigami is the most popular Kashmiri politician in Kerala. You are well known in Kerala. And I think that you are popular than the Chief Minister of Kashmir. I'm talking about Kerala. You are popular in Kerala than the Chief Minister of Kashmir. You are seen as a symbol of the resistance of Kashmiri people against authoritarian regime, against religious fundamentalisms of both variants, and you are seen as a champion of secularism, democracy, and federal principles. Can you please tell us your experience? And I must congratulate you for your fifth consecutive victory in recently concluded assembly elections.
First of all, I must express my a little concern about making comparison between the Chief Minister of Kashmir and me. He remains a wonderful person and leading the people of Jammu and Kashmir. But less known might be, and you know, I have a very strong link with the movement of Kerala, with the people. We are proud of the history of the people of Kerala in making and strengthening the unity of the country and in providing alternative routes for debate and discussion and in sharing the concerns of the people not only in Kerala but elsewhere. That remains a peculiarity of the people of Kerala and the leadership of Kerala.
Despite the concerted effort of all reactionary forces in the recent election to prevent your entry into the assembly, you were able to win for the fifth consecutive term. And why all the reactionary forces, both the forces of majoritarian communalism and minority communalism, how they came together to prevent your victory? I think I do not go into details, but we all know how both these forces came together to prevent you from winning another term in assembly. Why and how they are doing this?
I think this question is relevant, but more important is the plight of democracy and the democratic exercise recently held in Jammu and Kashmir, and the mandate of the people from the people of Kashmir. My friends, well-wishers, and concerned citizens of Kerala and elsewhere must be knowing that Jammu and Kashmir remains a place which is not only beautiful as far as culture is concerned or geography is concerned, climate is concerned. It has been in the forefront of struggle during the freedom movement, and it has a unique status in contributing to the making of India, building a secular India, when the people of Jammu and Kashmir, during the partition, having a choice either to go to that side or this side, they decided to have their relationship with the people of India, not on the basis of religion, but on the basis of historical linkage and on the basis of which we call secularism, which we call a better future irrespective of faith, irrespective of creed, irrespective of caste. Anywhere it was in Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, when during the partition that area was bleeding. United Punjab from Lahore to Amritsar, Jalandhar, it was a huge crisis for the human survival. Bleeding. People got massacred. And even in one part of Jammu and Kashmir, that is Jammu, that too got infected with the ongoing violence. And hundreds of innocents got killed with the patronage, of course, from those who were holding the power then. But it was in Kashmir when the Maharaja, the ruler, was reluctant to join the union. He was opting for an independent status for Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. And he was having a standstill agreement with Pakistan. And only when tribals came, reached Baramulla, the then Maharaja Hari Singh was forced to leave Kashmir along with his whole team, including the security elements, security forces. Nobody was there, Indian army was not there because accession had not taken place. And it is that Kashmir where not a single communal or other incident took place in those trying times of history. You see, people are forgetting. You see, the real test was when the whole environment was full of hatred, animosity, full of clashes around, it was a small place called Kashmir which expressed its will to be together. Together means with all other communities, Kashmiri Pandits, Sikhs, Christians, small groups, even Buddhists. They did not opt for any divisive politics, any division. And when unfortunately later on you might be asking me the question of migration of Kashmiri Pandits and other community groups, but I must tell you it was at that time when there was no security from either from Maharaja or from Indian Union, because Indian accession had not taken place. There was the will of the people in Srinagar and around. Not only they fulfilled their responsibility, the majority community, and there was no differentiation. There was no sign of any friction between a Muslim and a Kashmiri Pandit. Give us back as a Kashmiri, as a citizen of this country, what I will demand from the great people of India. Great people of India, I have lost faith on those who are holding the power because they have failed on all accounts, which later on I will explain. But I have faith, settled faith in the ethos, in the cultural bondages, bindings, certain relationships, and then the sense of working together for shaping future. That's why I appeal to all shades of opinion. We may have different approaches, different political orientations. Nevertheless, the country as a whole must survive. If country survives on those values, secular values, constitutional order, my Kashmir has a hope for returning back. My Kashmir has a hope for getting some justice from the people of the country. I'm waiting anxiously for that moment, and I hope I with others may not get disappointed.
These are very important historical facts. As you rightly said, there was no riots, no massacre in Kashmir Valley during partition. The entire North India witnessed massacres during partition, and people were flooding from one place to another. But Kashmir Valley was largely peaceful during partition. Then the question comes, who alienated the people of Kashmir, who always stood with India, who always championed the cause of secularism and democracy? So who alienated? Why Kashmir Valley was alienated from the mainstream?
It's a painful story. We have not that much of time to explain all the threats. But certainly, one thing I must express here in this hall with our own people, that is, you see, the rulers, those who were in command for the whole of the country, they made certain promises. You see, at that time, when Pakistan was having a claim over Kashmir, being a border area, being a Muslim majority area, all those claims were there. But it was the will of the people. That will was to join, to build a relationship not on the basis of faith, not on the basis of religion, not on the basis of creed, but on the basis of common concerns. The common concern is to build a better future for all of us, to have a future which provides opportunities for every citizen to live with dignity. That is how the relationship came into existence. Look at that time, the Constituent Assembly. Sometimes we are talking about, and some people are making certain noises here and there. What is Constitution and all that? They are even questioning the constitutional order now. But understand, the huge country, such a big country with vast identities, identity in terms of languages, cultures, behavior, habits, got together during the freedom struggle, then again their representatives sat together in the Constituent Assembly to frame the future direction for the country, and that's how Constitution of India emerged out of that debate. So my concern is, it was during that debate that Article 370 was discussed, debated, and incorporated in the Constitution, same Constitution of India where we are together, where the whole country is looking forward for a better future. What happened then? I will not go to the history of doings, wrongs committed by the successive regimes. That is a long list, long list. But what happened on 5th August 2019, that was a disaster. Disaster against the people of Jammu and Kashmir, yes, but disaster. A bigger assault on the very basic structure of the Constitution of India. I appeal to the people of Kerala, I appeal to the people in the rest of the country, don't look at what happened in Jammu and Kashmir in isolation. What happened there was the beginning of a process that continues today. Now look what is happening now. Since 2019, 5th August, we have suffered. I will detail out how we have suffered. But certainly there is much more happening in the rest of the country. Parliament is denied the right to have debate. Now, opposition, yes, despite huge size, they are not being allowed to raise issues which are the concern of the people of India. Now, this is happening in the parliament. What about the assemblies? Look towards Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and elsewhere. Governors are more important than the elected chief ministers, elected cabinet. They are more important. Once there was GST, one nation, one tax. We know the result now. What is happening with that money? Kerala is suffering, Tamil Nadu is suffering. Not only these states are suffering, even those states who have BJP governments, one government in Delhi, one government in respective states, they too are suffering. They don't have the authority to determine, to get the tax share for the welfare of the concerned people. This is happening. And not only that, now you look at it, we are asking about one nation, one election. What does it mean? And finally, it amounts to denying the federal nature of the Constitution. This denial of the rights of the states to have their own will for shaping, making laws and all that. Once that happens. And then not only that, one nation, one language. You can't be a Malayalam, myself a Kashmiri, and somebody a Punjabi, Bengali, or Marathi. No. One nation, one language. Who knows tomorrow happening one nation, one leader? Then what happens to this great country? What happened? I appeal to the intelligentsia of the country, cutting across the political ideological lines. I have a strong belief if my country as a whole survives, if democracy survives, if constitution survives, I as a Kashmiri has a respectable place in that process. Don't deny me as a citizen of this country, not as a Kashmiri, citizen of this country, the right which has been provided to me by the founders of the Constitution of India, by those who participated in the struggle for freedom, and don't demolish that foundation of a relationship. What happened in Kashmir? What happened in Kashmir could not be done by those who wanted to undermine the very threads of relation between Kashmir and the Union of India. They could not. Yes, today Kashmiri people are silent. Yes. They understand what it means to speak today. Yes, here remains a place where in 2018 till there was an assembly that was put under suspended animation first. And then when the question came to form an alternative government, all of a sudden, all channels of communication get ineffective, ruptured. You witness that. You see how it is being manipulated the day first. We want to have a government, and now in our country, there have been divisions of the states, like in UP, Bihar, Andhra, new states have emerged. But certainly the assemblies concerned were asked to comment as least. They were given a choice to discuss, debate. Media was discussing. Civil society was. There were protests, there were counter-arguments for a longer period. But here in Jammu and Kashmir, a historic state is not being decided or not being referred to the assembly. What to talk of the Constitutional Assembly? Which Constitution was providing us once 370 is removed, it can be removed only with the consent of Constitutional Assembly. Now even the assembly is being dissolved. And then the nominee of the union government claims to represent Tarigami, claims to represent Jammu Dogra, Ladakhi Buddhist, all of us, a nominee from Union of India. Still you are talking about constitution working in Jammu and Kashmir? Still the people of India, the rest of the country are being fed with lies that it is democracy is thriving in Kashmir. We don't want something more other than what the people of India are asking for, aspiring for. A dignified life, a democratic way of living. And you are denying us. And not only that, you are imposing restrictions on communication. Whatever communication, internet, even a patient cannot talk to a doctor. Even a student studying outside cannot have any contact with his mother or father. Even some ailing person in the hospital cannot just approach the doctor. This is the fate. This is the fate of the people of Kashmir, which is what we could get out of that relationship for which the India and Indian people remain proud of. My dear countrymen, what is at stake in Kashmir is not just my interest. You can afford to ignore my interest, but don't ignore. It is impact on the very basic constitutional structure which provides guarantees for the rights of the people in Northeast, in South, in North, in West. Once that is attacked, those rights are attacked, you cannot remain safe. It's only one thing, when the fascism emerged, they came first to kill me. Somebody else kept mum, closed the door. Next time came to that door. Again, there was none in the community who could speak for the rest because there was none available. It will be too late if all of us, I appeal to my party, to all other sections of the population, be they of this variety or that variety, one common challenge remains with the people of country, that is how best we can defend the constitution, how best we can defend whatever democracy we have, how best we can defend the federal structure of the constitution which binds Malayalam with Kashmiri, Kashmir with Bengali, Marathi. That order needs to be defended, and I appeal to you. I hope that I will be getting more positive support from every corner, because this is not my feeling alone. This is the feeling of each one of us, and I'm hopeful we can win this battle. Thank you.
I'm in complete agreement with your sentiment and your point that whatever has happened to Kashmir should not be seen in isolation. As you rightly quoted Martin Niemöller's poem during Hitler, he said, first they came for the Catholics, I did not speak out because I was not a Catholic. Then they came for the Jews, I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for the communists, I did not speak out because I was not a communist. And finally, when they came for me, there was no one left to speak for me. So this is very true in the contemporary India. So this can be happened to any other state, including Kerala. Constituent Assembly took 5 months to discuss and debate Article 370. Then Article 370 was incorporated into the Constitution. But the Modi government, the second Modi government, took couple of hours, only couple of hours to abrogate 370. So the manner in which they did this attack on the Constitution of India, this is not merely an abrogation of Article 370, this is an abrogation of democracy itself. So you have clearly explained how they did this thing and what they did to the Constitution. So, comrade, I would like to ask you, so how the entire Kashmir was turned into an open jail after the abrogation of Article 70. You himself were put under house arrest. And I remember Comrade Sitaram, now he is not with us, is a big loss for the entire country. And how Comrade Sitaram went to Supreme Court, fought the case, and how he could visit Kashmir to meet you. And if you can please share those experiences, the experiences of those dark days, that will be, the audience will be expecting that. Can you please?
Yes, comrades. You see, that's why my belief, strong belief is, the government is one face of the country, but that's not the only face. Even those trying times, some of the leaders tried to reach to the people of Kashmir. Sitaram was one among those. He was not allowed. But later on, he did not sit quiet, knock at the doors of Supreme Court.
Comrade, Sitaram was the first political leader who reached Kashmir after abrogation of Article 370, right?
So there were others as well. Anyway, there was some more people as well, a few of them. But Sitaram was first to reach to the Supreme Court, knock at the doors of the Supreme Court for allowing him to meet me. First, that was an habeas corpus petition, because he prayed for that Tarigami is ill, so he must be, his whereabouts are not known, he must be brought to the court. But the court, government objected, and Chief Justice allowed him to go to Kashmir and visit Tarigami and see how his health condition is. So that's how it makes a little different for Sitaram. A big hope, now no more. He did not give up. He reached Kashmir and he fought back, met me, discussed and saw my condition, health condition and all that, went back and approached court. And again, the Mr. Mehta, Solicitor General of India, objected of getting me treated in All India Medical Institute. First denying that I am under arrest. No, he is facing threat, that's why we are preventing him from going outside. But when Sitaram asked for allow him to visit AIIMS for better treatment here, again he objected. He is being treated well. And Supreme Court judge asked him, how are you concerned when you say that he is free? So anyway, Comrade Sitaram, this was the capacity of a leader who is no more. He was not only concerned about me, he was concerned about the plight of the people of Kashmir. When I reached back, got admitted, got examined, I stayed for some time, and the first press conference about Kashmir from the oppositional side was by Sitaram and me together in Delhi. And first time, huge press came because there was no other option left for them. They came and we tried to make it, convey it to the people in the rest of the country that what is happening in Kashmir is something which is not in the interest of the country, which is not in the interest of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. If at all it is in the interest of, that is, eroding the very constitutional basis of the relationship of Jammu and Kashmir with the Union of India. And we just explained that now onwards, we have hope. I said at that point of time, I don't rely on Government of India. I don't expect them to do justice with us. They have done what they did, but we have settled faith with the people of India, rest of the country. And Sitaram boldly said, Tarigami, don't get disappointed. This country is having a rich history of fighting back for their rights. We will not disappoint you. You are part of the mainstream people of India. People of India, if the rulers betray some sections of the population, people of India will not, shall not, we assure you. That assurance was a big, big support for us there in Kashmir. So this is how, but my point is that what happened in Jammu and Kashmir, it is not only 370. Some people are talking as if 370 is something smuggled from some other country. It was drafted by the cabinet, in which Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was also member.
Yes.
And there is no, if you go to the record, search it out, you will not find even a single dissent. Not a single dissent. Not even from Shyama Prasad Mukherjee.
And he continued even after 370.
Yes, after, yes. During that period and after that, when it was tabled, discussed and debated, and this has happened. Now it is being projected 370 as a ghost of everything bad. And I must tell you, there were certain assurances to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. It was the only region, state, where the Pakistan was having claims at that point of time. And it is at that time when there was some concern about what is happening in Jammu and Kashmir, that the people and the leadership of Jammu and Kashmir entered into a negotiated settlement with the leadership of the country. We negotiated the relationship. We were not forced to accede to. We were not just, it was not imposition on the people of Jammu and Kashmir. It was the will of the people of Jammu and Kashmir to accede to India through a bond of relationship which agreed to provide certain guarantees, constitutional guarantees for the good future of people of Jammu and Kashmir. That is how Article 370 emerged. And that is why in Article 370 it is said it can be abrogated only with the consent of the Constituent Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, when it is abrogated, there is no Constituent Assembly. When this is abrogated, there is not even assembly. There is a governor, nominee of the party in power in Delhi. They represent us. If this happens tomorrow elsewhere, how will they react on this position? And not only that, again, they have divided us, downgraded us from a historic state to a level of a union territory. They did not discuss with the people of Ladakh. They did not discuss with the people of Jammu, not with any other community, but unilaterally they farman. This was earlier, the kingdoms were issuing the farman orders. They issued the farman. That is how now Kashmir, having unique history, joining secular India with certain amount of guarantees, is downgraded. Now you know, Reorganization Act was passed in the Parliament. What is that reorganization? Earlier in 1956, there was the Reorganization Act that was to guarantee the linguistic states and all that, a progressive legislation. Now this Reorganization Act was, despite the will of the people of all shades, you have to come down. You have to be degraded to a union territory status. Now they talk that Ladakh people have celebrated this. We, the people of Kashmir, have not come on the streets just for obvious reasons, but Ladakhis have come in minus temperature, defying the writ of the administration there, defying the writ of the government of India, and told them that we want protection of jobs, we want protection of land, we want protection of our culture. Forced them to enter into negotiations with the Ladakh and Kargil representatives. Once DDC elections were held in that part, district council elections were held, both together, National Conference and Congress won the election in Leh and Kargil as well. And the same BJP who just announced at the national level, we have integrated Ladakh as well, as if it was not part of the country earlier. They have told them that we don't accept your position, you are doing this type of treatment to us. And similarly, in Kashmir recently, the elections were held after 2018. Can you imagine? Peace has been restored as claimed by the Home Minister. Everything is good. You are having GST, you are having what? Many conferences, many dramas and all that, with the help of the security forces, overburdening them. And then you are claiming that everything is good. But everything is good, but not for the elections of assembly. Truncated assembly, union territory assembly. You can't dare to hold elections. And then it is Supreme Court. Judgment on the petitions which we had moved. Radha is here, she was one of the petitioners, I and others. Though some of us feel that the judgment was not quite, we are not happy about. I dare to speak as a citizen that I never expected such a judgment. I'm not happy about the judgment, but nevertheless, they mentioned that elections have to be held by September. And also there is a mention of that Mahta, Solicitor General, has assured the Supreme Court that statehood is a temporary phenomenon, it will be restored soon. Now elections have been held, and earlier they thought, you were talking about how you could win. It's an open story. Earlier, they were talking of there is terrorism, there is everything because of 370. And as if that story started from 90, not before, of Kashmir. It was not a story from 47 till 90. That chapter is over. That chapter is not useful for BJP. But the chapter from 90 is being misquoted, distorted, and presented before the people of the country as if terrorism is in the genes of average Kashmiri. So that has happened. And elections now were held under this union territory after 6 years' time. They tried to fix the elections. But salute to the people of Kashmir and Jammu
And they even tried to change the demographic nature of Kashmir.
Yes. Not only that, I'm just trying to sum it up, but before elections, when we met first time, Prime Minister and Home Minister was there. When Prime Minister convened the meeting of all political parties, I was there, we were there. You know what Amit Shah Sahab said at that point of time? First delimitation, and then election, then statehood. Now, what is delimitation? Earlier, our assembly, the old assembly had adopted a resolution amendment in the constitution of Jammu and Kashmir that we want to go for delimitation. We want to join the delimitation process when it is started at the national level. We are being accused that you are not integrating. Once we expressed our will that the delimitation will take place along with the rest of the country in 2026, it was not acceptable to this government, and they said, no, now delimitation has to be done. Delimitation was done. And Delimitation Commission has the authority to fix up the boundaries, to fix up the size of the assemblies. It is within the domain of this Delimitation Commission. But not that. It is in the Reorganization Act itself that was mentioned. 7 seats will be increased. How? What is the measuring standard? How did they measure it that we require 7 seats? And again, 7 seats not on the basis of the census which was conducted in 2011. And 2011 census expresses that Kashmir region has more population than the Jammu region. For me, Jammu is equally important. But I'm just telling you the facts. So 7 seats were increased, not with the consent of the Delimitation Commission, but imposed rather by the government, and 6 for Jammu, 1 for Kashmir only. Population size is more in Kashmir, less in Jammu. You can well understand the arithmetic of this government. And then 6 for this area. Again, 5 seats have been nominated. Nomination for whom? From one community. How unfortunate it is. We never got divided on the basis of this faith. But they are trying to create wedge between the communities on the basis of our faith, favoring this section or that section. Though the experience tells the people of Jammu, people of Kashmir, whether he is of this faith or that faith, they understand that this government depends more on lies, does not do anything for its citizens, whether it is the record of the providing jobs. Ask for anybody, ask the people of Jammu how much you have got out of whatever they have given so far. Now even the contractors are coming from outside. Not only that, but even the land is being offered to. We have never, ever stopped anybody to invest in Jammu and Kashmir. Start from Kotwa itself, Birla Mill, long before was established there on the format of lease. There are hotels in Jammu and in Kashmir itself, Boulevard Road. So they were there. It's not they are creating myths now as if Kashmir was blocked for every investment, for every development. I just challenge them. Come on, have a discussion with your model of Gujarat model, and I will tell you what Kashmir model is. It is the Kashmir model for the first time in your recent history where land reforms took place.
I was about to ask you, because
Yes,
land reforms in Kashmir initiated along with in 60s when the land reforms was Kerala was also initiating land reforms.
That's later.
Reforms. Yeah.
You see, it is 50s.
Yeah.
Land reforms were first initiated in Kashmir, later on followed by Comrade EMS's government.
57,
yes, next was Kerala.
You are right.
Yes. So my point is, and that was land to the tiller without compensation. Yes. Are quite radical. We refused to pay because we were having a separate constitution also, which enabled us to make certain laws. That's why there was some hindrance here and there to go for land legislation, because the compensation was to be paid to the landlords. It was not in Kashmir. That was first. We have adopted earlier period of soon after independence a constitution that is called Naya Kashmir. National Conference adopted that under the leadership of Sheikh Abdullah. All the shades of opinion were there, communists were there, all others were there. Naya Kashmir, what is that Naya Kashmir? Free education up to the university level. It is in 50s. Empowerment of women. Women cannot be denied the right to have education, to have a right to enter into elected bodies. It was in Kashmir. And not only that, fundamentally it was the question of empowering the people of Jammu and Kashmir. That we, the people of Jammu and Kashmir, are masters of our own choice. We have to shape our future. That was a message. That Naya Kashmir was irritant right from the day first for the Maharaja here and the governments later on. And now, you know what is happening now. A ruler, Maharaja, who was reluctant to accede to India, in my view, he was an aristocrat, he was a feudal, and his birthday is being celebrated by this government. Yeah. While Sheikh Abdullah, who fought against the tyranny of Maharaja, landlords, and initiated the process of acceding to India, was a bridge between the people of Jammu and Kashmir and the rest of the country. They are refusing to observe his birthday as a holiday. Can you understand? U-turn of history. A Maharaja, a ruler, the then ruler, and a popular leader of Jammu and Kashmir. There's a comparison. Maharaja is acceptable to the present regime, but Sheikh Abdullah, who acceded to despite all odds, is not acceptable to them. History is being, I think, hugely distorted, which is not in the interest of the country, interest of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, during this election, they were first reluctant. They were reluctant not to hold elections. Then when they decided, they wanted to rope in all the supplemental forces, all, right from Jamaat-e-Islami to other extensions they created in Kashmir. and supported them in every forum to manipulate the verdict of the people. And they did it in Kulgam as well. This time, the fifth term, it was a wonderful time for me. Wonderful time. It was a big challenge, that's why it was wonderful. Jamaat-e-Islami, having a record of talking about secession, talking about jihad, talking and initiating armed struggle, and then the government of India, highly patriotic, talking about curbing militancy, curbing violence, hobnobbing now for petty gains with those outfits, just not to allow the people of Kashmir and Kulgam to express themselves as freely as possible. But salute to the people of Kashmir. Salute to the people of Kashmir. They can be kept, they can keep quiet today. They can be not speaking today. But the countrymen must understand this. When they are given an opportunity to express themselves, the voice is louder. Voice is louder. All the groups which associated with BJP directly and indirectly, the address has disappeared. They are not known now. And that is why this government, despite the assurances in the Supreme Court, despite the mention in the Supreme Court verdict that statehood will be restored, they are not even in a mood of considering that demand. Their own commitment. Now, we don't know, today's mandate, I said it in the first session of the assembly, that here is an assembly which does not know what to legislate and what not to legislate. Our officers, our people do not know where to approach this gate, Raj Bhavan, or the elected chief minister. And they are enjoying like anything. So my appeal to the countrymen is that whatever the verdict of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, that has to be respected. They will not. They are reluctant. We must raise our voice at every level so that they are forced to listen to, and at least the state promise of statehood is fulfilled and statehood is restored, so that the present elected government is in a position to deliver on the promises it made to the people of Jammu and Kashmir.
So when you were talking about Jamaat-e-Islami's position in Kashmir, recent Kashmir election, especially in Kulgam, I was remembering few reports in media houses, television channel and a newspaper controlled by Jamaat-e-Islami in Kerala. They said during election that this time it will be difficult for Tarigami to win the elections. Tarigami is almost going to lose elections in Kulgam. And when you won the elections, they were very disappointed. I remember I posted on Facebook about your victory and citing their reports that you are going to lose. So I just remembered when you...
I think they will be more disappointed now seeing me here on the soil of Kerala speaking
of course,
the voice of the people of Kashmir.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course, they will be disappointed. So, comrade, before now, our time is almost over. I'm sure that our audience also will be keen to ask some questions. We have very limited time, but before that, I would like to ask you two more things. One is your personal experiences. You were targeted both by the administration, the Modi regime, and there were several attempts on your life by extremist forces. Can you please explain your personal experiences?
The personal experiences of the recent past are quite bitter, and doesn't want to share, but certainly, as you have asked it, part of it has to be shared. And You see, one thing is that Kashmir was not what it has turned out to be. It was quite peaceful. Ask your elders who were visiting then. They will tell you, our younger generation, that it was most peaceful place. And because of bad politics, again because of there is one reason, it is not Article 370, but it is erosion, which created a space for extremist elements, thereby those across who wanted to undermine this unity of Jammu and Kashmir with the union. That is first. And second, this accumulation of disappointments. Now I still remember in 77 DMK raised the voice for more powers to the state, and there in West Bengal 77 elections, first government, left government, they presented a memorandum for the same purpose. And then in 83 itself, after Andhra government was dissolved, there was a conclave on the question of state-center relations. Jyoti Basu was there, Sheikh Farooq Abdullah was there, and other big leaders from the rest of the country from oppositional parties were there. That again irritated. So we adopted the participants. Comrade E.M.S. Namboodiripad as General Secretary of the party was there. And then this question of state-center relations was debated, third year. And it is here where Article 370, it was agreed upon to restore it, to defend it. That was the promise made by the oppositional conclave then, which was held, I think, in 83. But soon after 84, the government got dissolved, Farooq Abdullah's government got dissolved, because certain amount of defections were organized, seen to be organized. Anyway, that is again a history. And then I remember when, because there were certain unfortunate incidents. Some people got killed. One lawyer got killed. One block president of National Conference got killed. Another judge got killed. And soon after, my turn was there, but I was fortunate enough I could save myself and reached Jammu. So that way I was the first person who left Kashmir and reached Jammu, and Farooq Abdullah was then, 89 December, he was Chief Minister. I still remember, because the government was in Delhi, and there was some rumors were there that Jagmohan will be sent as a governor. And our party tried not to send him because Farooq Abdullah wanted to send any governor, but I have certain reservations about Jagmohan. But instead, Jagmohan was sent. That irritated Farooq Abdullah, and finally he resigned. Please look at it. Mistakes have been committed. Big mistakes have been committed. And this void has become more and more serious. And at that point of time, Kashmiri Pandits being a small minority, when others got killed, many others also, some MLAs got killed, and some of our comrades got killed, along with others. Kashmiri Pandits also, some of them got targeted, unfortunately. So this atmosphere of fear was created. Huge fear was created, and that's why, like me, Kashmiri Pandits were forced to migrate. And this is the tragic part of our recent history. tragic part, very unfortunate. But I must tell you again that tragedies have happened and we have to draw a lesson. We have not to celebrate tragedies, or we have not to sell miseries in the market for political purposes. What is required is we must share the grief and sorrow of those who have suffered. And that's my concern. As a student of politics and a member of CPIM, I do believe firmly that it is the collective will of the people which can provide solutions to the problems which all of us are facing. The whole community of people of Kashmir and Jammu have suffered tremendously because of ongoing violence. No doubt about that. It has not suited any community whatsoever. But we have to draw lessons. And the lesson is we have to find solutions together. We have to remain together. We have not to use yesterday's miseries to divide us further, to get us this friction. Our unity should not get compromised. And it is the will of the people which can be a real guarantor for our better future. And for that, I appeal to the people of Kerala, while shaping their own future, they must remember the miseries of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. We expect you to do more. Raise your voice in defense of democratic rights, in defense of liberty of citizens, the journalists, those who are languishing in jails under UAPA, Public Safety Act, and all that. Lot of it is happening. I did not mention, and even the media is not what it is in Kerala. They are media persons are have been under pressure, and the statehood must be restored. That is the first step. Of course, CPIM believes that restoration of whatever has been snatched from us, the constitutional guarantees in the form of more autonomy, that remains our aim. But nevertheless, the immediate concern is to respect the mandate of the people of Jammu and Kashmir and provide a chance to the government here to deliver on the ground. That can be done only with the full restoration of the statehood, and Jammu Kashmir government and the union government have to work towards that end. That's my appeal.
Finally, before concluding this conversation, as once famous German poet and playwright Bertolt Brecht said, whether there will be singing in the dark times, yes, there will be singing in the dark times about the dark times, he once wrote. So my final question is, how art, culture, and independent thinking is surviving in an atmosphere of fear and in the dark times in Kashmir?
You see, come there, you will see the younger generation, despite all odds, you will find on their face some hope. They are settled smiling. The artists, the cultural activists, the media personnel, the younger generation, they are settled smiling. That could not be snatched from us, the people of Kashmir. And that is the lifeline for our society. We have to live and aspire for a better life. But certainly we are learning through the experience. We, in isolation, cannot do much. We, together with the people of Kerala and the rest of the country, can make a better future for all of us.
Now we can take a couple of questions from the audience. We have very limited time, so please. Your intervention should be very brief. മൈക്ക് കൊടുക്കൂ, ഇവിടെ മൈക്ക് കൊടുക്കൂ, അവിടെയാണ് ആദ്യം എണീറ്റത്.
I am very delighted to be here, and I must profusely thank you for an excellent exposure on what is really happening in Kashmir. My doubt is, after the recent elections in Kashmir, how do you evaluate the upsurge of secular values among the people of Kashmir? Because there is a trend that in Kashmir, a particular religion is dominant, which may reflect in the elections. But on the basis of the election results, do you think that there is any improvement in the secularist values?
Is the first example is from my side, from Kulgam people, a good message that they have rejected BJP sponsored Jamaat-e-Islami also and elected one who seemed to be one among all, like you. So that is a good message. You see, it's not the message that I have won. The message is that all those people, right from BJP to Jamaat-e-Islami, they clubbed together their efforts, did whatever was possible on their part, but despite that, because of the urge of the people in that particular area, they could face that challenge and elected one who is known for his ideas in the whole of Kashmir.
Both BJP and Jamaat-e-Islami feel
They
that a
joined
common,
together.
yeah,
My
common
point is
candidate.
this, and this is what more do you want? And then now, Jamaat-Islami contested other seats as well. They did not win, while as national conference candidates won the election in those areas. I was telling you not only here, but in the Ladakh area, Leh, Kargil. Leh is a Buddhist area and Kargil is a Muslim-dominated district. There, they have fought together. Soon after the abrogation, and it was earlier said that they were demanding union territory status, but later on through their experience, they have learned that yesterday was better for us. That is how, when District Development Council elections were held, it is Congress, National Conference together who won and defeated BJP. So you see, that is how. What is secularism? Secularism is politics not on the basis of a faith. Secularism is not mixing faith with the governing the state, mixing religion and politics. Having a faith, that's one's own choice, but not mixing up. So that's what it is, and it has, I think, given a big message. The message is, we want a better life, a democratic life. We want to be part of Indian democracy and secular democracy rather. We want to be part of a secular democracy. That is how they have opted for a mandate which is not quite, does not suit the BJP or the Jamaat-e-Islami in Kashmir.
Now one last question.
Sir, I would like to ask you on the trajectory of tragedies after the scrapping of 370, Article 370. What about, it is stated that Kashmir is the most internet banned state the whole over the world, the most internet banned state still. Is it so? That is my question.
It's internet shutdown. It's about
Shutdown.
internet shutdown, right?
Shutdown. Shutdown.
So, can you please clarify what is your question?
Sir, my question is, what about the trajectory of tragedies after the scrapping of Article 370? You said about the Kashmiri Pandits tragedy and everything. The personal freedom is started. Everything is diddly. So after that, the final blow is that the internet ban. Because of that, the youngster generation is suffering a lot, even the IT sector in Kashmir.
Mainly the impact of internet shutdowns, frequent internet shutdowns in Kashmir.
International?
In the internet shutdown. Internet.
Internet. Now that is working now.
Yeah.
Yes, that's working now.
Okay. So,
Yes.
so thank you, comrades Mohamad Yousuf Tarigami, for being here in this Kerala Legislative International Book Festival. You spoke very powerfully. You expressed the sentiments of not only the people of Kashmir, but your words express the sentiment of the entire people who believe in democracy and secularism. On behalf of the entire audience and on behalf of the people of Kerala, I would like to extend the love, affection, and solidarity of people of Kerala to the people of Kashmir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
Thank you both for the remarkable dialogue session. Now I request the Secretary, Kerala Legislative Assembly, Dr. N. Krishna Kumar, for giving the honor to the guest on behalf of KLIBF. And I also invite Shri M.B Rajesh and Shri Yousuf Tarigami to receive the honors.